Hi, guys. We are back for another episode of AstroLyrical with Maggie, aka Ghost in Real Life, who is a fun mix of punk and EDM music with incredibly vulnerable lyrics that are just beautiful. Her big three are a Libra Sun, an Aries Moon, and a Sag Rising. Enjoy the episode.
I was in second grade saying the F word at lunch. You know what I mean? It's because
How
of
did
the.
that go?
Oh
At
man,
school. People were not expecting it. They were like,
they would
"She's-"
laugh.
Right.
They've made it a norm that like negative feelings are wrong. Like you should never have those.
Don't ever sing a song about negative feelings,
Right.
basically.
And I'm
Okay.
just kind of like, why not?
Well, that's what good music is, I feel like.
Even with my recent set at Lost Lands, like people came to just be giddy and have fun.
So your music is like, you're
Yeah.
able to kind of like be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and we are back with another episode of AstroLyrical here with, I'm very excited to announce Maggie Beltran, Beltran, right?
Beltran.
Beltran. I had it before, but, and you were even saying like people make it way more complicated than it actually is. But how are you doing today? We're so excited to have you here on the podcast.
I'm good, I'm still reacclimating from a bit of traveling, but it's all in good terms.
Yeah. So you were telling us before that you've been kind of all over the place lately, like all over the country, right?
Yeah, last weekend was Lost Lands, and then so I was in Ohio, and then Wednesday I went to Chicago. So that was cool. We played at a Dave and Buster's.
Oh my God. How did that work out? Where did they put the stage?
They move the machines and they prop up this little like mini stage in the middle of a Dave and Buster's and make it into like this whole venue.
That sounds pretty fun.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Did you play a lot of games while you were there too?
I did the human claw.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Oh no, I'm thinking of the claw in the machines where you get the toy.
So you are the claw, and they put you in a harness and they lift you up, and then they spin you around so you're nice and dizzy.
Oh.
And then they lower you down into like this like whole pool of like inflatables that you can just grab.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun. I've never seen that. I'm curious to hear your trajectory of how you've kind of come to this place. It seems like you've really grown in popularity and touring and people really connecting with your music. Do you feel like it's been kind of like a slow burn up, or did the fame and or like the concert going and all of it just kind of happen pretty recently?
I've been pretty good about having like a consistent upwardsness instead of just spiking.
Yeah.
Because every time I feel like I'm going to spike into fame, I get like really anxious, like I'm not going to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm a firm believer in being like in prepared success rather than, going viral.
Yeah. So like actually doing the work,
learning the things to be able to handle it and being prepared and, always just like having like the knowledge and backing to be able to support myself on my way up.
That's pretty cool. So because you were an Olympic skater, right? I mean, did you kind of learn that work ethic through that experience, through kind of your childhood of doing something that like intense? I mean, that's kind of a lot for a kid, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I feel like I'm like army trained.
Yeah, I could see that. Like it kind of prepares you for a lot of things.
I know it's kind of frustrating sometimes because it's like I feel very like an outsider whenever people are talking about like normal childhood things and like, going to like having like friendships and awkward stages and stuff. And it's just like, I didn't really have that. I had, waking up at 4 a.m. to go to training. And then my summers were spent in Canada training for the Olympics at like 11 years old. So
that's really wild. I mean, how did that even happen? I mean, did you like always want to be a skater, or was that something that just kind of, I don't know, got put on you? Or
well, I think my parents realized I was very hyperactive as a child. I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD until I was 21, but I was very energetic as a child. And my parents were like, well, your brothers are doing sports, so you need to do a sport too. And I was like watching TV, and I think the Winter Olympics were on. I was like, what about ice skating?
So you just like, we're like, how about this?
How about this? Which is like literally every decision I've made in my life. It's just like, oh, what if I did this?
I love that. So it was kind of like not spur of the moment, but it was not something that you had really thought much about before that moment of seeing the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, like back when I was younger, ice skating was like one of the most popular sports, like with Michelle Kwan and like all these like superstar athletes that were like basically models at this point. And so after I said that, my mom was like, all right, sure. So we brought me over to like the local ice rink, and I was just so confident with it. Like you sign up for like a beginner lesson, and they give you a chair. I was like 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
And like they give you a chair to push around and help yourself balance. And I walked on with the chair. We still have a video of this. I walked on with the chair, like maybe 5-10 feet in. I push away with it, and I'm just off.
Oh my God. So just the first time you tried it, you were like, I'm good. I'm going to move on.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always had this like way of going into things new, like completely confidently. It's like an idiot confidence almost.
You know what? I think that's the beauty of your Aries moon. I think Aries moons are really good at having confidence and just kind of like trying something out and not overthinking it, which we'll get into more of your chart, but I think that's a good balance for some of the other aspects in your chart, which might be a little bit more prone to overthinking, you know? But it is nice to have that, just that confidence to be like, I'm going to try this thing. And like, you were just instantly pretty natural at it. I love that. But that must have been, like you said, kind of a different kind of childhood. I mean, you know, that is unconventional in terms of like not getting to do maybe some of the other things that like kids do, like seeing friends as much, or like your main focus was on training, it seems like, right?
Yeah. And it's, you know, like a lot of my like social experience as a child was, you know, trying to be friends with people who were my competition.
Oh, was that easy or
no? I was very like, I wouldn't say like I was bullied, but I was definitely like left out on like a lot of things that like a lot of the girls at the ice rink, because a lot of girls, I was very young for like the level I was at, and a lot of girls that were skating at my level were a lot, like maybe a few years older than me.
Oh, okay.
And because I did start relatively young. That's what was so significant about what I was doing. You know, like I won a national competition at 11 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like unheard of sometimes.
Yeah.
That's when they were like, oh, we need to send her to Canada and let's get her training with an Olympic level coach. And
oh wow.
I'd do this like 5 weeks camp, which was like probably most of my childhood memories is that camp. Even though it was like, you know, in training technically.
Oh my gosh. Did you do school still, like homeschool, or what'd you do?
I still went to school, but you know, I was treated very differently and like isolated a lot, because people, like kids, would treat me as if I was like full of myself because I had like a special reason to leave class early.
Yeah. Because
like my mom ended up putting me through private school so that we could have a flexible schedule on when I could leave for practice.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and the kids were like, what makes her so special? You know?
Yeah. And that's so hard when you're like, I'm just trying to like do this thing. I'm not trying to like get at anyone's business. And then people are kind of whatever. Kids are jealous or they're intimidated or whatever.
Right. And I think it made me like less excited about my accomplishments because like in 5th grade, you know, I was in a newspaper article for winning a national competition, and my school hung it in a frame on the wall. And I'm just kind of like,
oh God. So you're like, oh my God.
Like everyone's going to hate me now.
Oh. So, I mean, do you still feel like that's something that's hard for you? Like with your music career, like any kind of accomplishments or accolades or being like, this is awesome. Like, is it hard for you to accept praise?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I like, because it's like in my brain, I've now like trained myself to be like, okay, I've won this. Okay, what's next? And I just keep moving. And everyone's just like, don't you know how awesome you are? I'm like, honestly, I don't.
You're like, honestly, it's just on to the next thing. And well, and especially like if the kids around you and people were kind of like, I don't know, like gave you a hard time about being successful at that age, that's hard to not then internalize that and be like, oh, okay, I guess I shouldn't maybe like accept success or like celebrate it, which that's tough.
Right. And I think that's what drew me into music so much. Because it was always like self-rewarding.
It's for you.
Yeah.
It's not for anyone else. And I can really hear that in your music. And I have to say, accept the praise that I'm giving you. But it's like, I really did connect with the music because, again, for me, like, I don't just on my own listen to EDM that much. But what I loved was like your music. I mean, yes, it had like the bass line. It had like the music part of it. But the lyrics were so personal. And like actually really vulnerable. And I'm not sure if that's just like an all EDM or specific more to how you do it. But I really did love kind of the fact that you were able to put that out there in these songs, and especially kind of like understanding what you're talking about with your background and stuff. I could see how it's like the music is cathartic. Like whatever you're experiencing out in the world with people or with what's going on with your tours or any of it, it's like you're kind of channeling all the music or channeling your emotions through the music,
Yeah. Like, I think that's like my one way of like connecting with people. It's just like when I win, we all win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, because it's just like, I mean, even when I was younger, when I wrote lyrics, it was like, I felt like I was constantly in a space like socially and like at home where I couldn't fully speak my truth because, it might be wrong.
Right.
And it's like now it's like I feel like I'm finally saying what everyone wants to say all the time. And it's now something we can all share together.
I felt that. I really did feel that in a lot of your lyrics. I was like, yeah, I can definitely relate to this. And I think I saw with your new song Poison, like I could see like on, social media and just different things, people were talking about how much they really love the song. Yeah. And it was cool because it's like, I think, again, you're saying what a lot of people are feeling. And that's a real gift to be able to express whatever it is, the anguish, the frustration. But, it was interesting because like there was a lot of, I could feel like the, intense emotion in these songs. But then there was a lot of songs where I felt like there was actually a lot of optimism and like a lot of like hope.
Yeah.
And that was really cool too. And of course, like as I was listening to it, I was looking at your chart and connecting the dots and everything like that. So it was really cool for me to be like, oh, here's that Jupiter area. I see that hope coming through. But I was curious of your experience with astrology because I know, you were talking about how you kind of were connecting to astrology as a younger person to understand other people and to kind of make sense of maybe how other people worked. Is that something that you connect to? Is that something that you did as a kid or younger person?
Well, yeah, I think like then this is kind of where like my neurodiversity comes in, like with ADHD. I think that there was just a lot of things that I didn't understand socially because it's like I feel like as like a person with ADHD, my brain is a little more like logical and like direct.
Yeah.
And whereas it like I don't quite understand a lot of social norms. I'm just like, why would we do that when we could just do this?
I love that though. And I mean, I connect to that because, so essentially again with what, I'm not sure in terms of if about like the houses in your chart. But because like you're probably basic.
I know like the three main ones.
Exactly. So you're a Libra Sun, you're an Aries Moon, and then you're a Sag rising.
Yeah.
So you know that. And the houses where like all these planets lie say a lot about how that affects you and the planets that are there. And so it's interesting because the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. And so it's like you don't have really any planets in Aquarius per se, but you have all these really important planets in the house that Aquarius rules. Aquarian people are very much just like out of the box in terms of an objective and be like, well, wait, why? Like in terms of, like you were saying, social norms, there's certain social niceties or social norms that people feel like they have to follow. And I feel like Aquarian people don't play into that BS sometimes. And they're kind of like, well, why am I going to do that? Because that's fake. Also, you have a lot of Scorpio energy, which is also like not about the fakeness.
I'm aware of that.
Yes, but I love it. And that's the thing, though. I think Aquarian energy is very refreshing because it doesn't try to play games. And it's like, no, like this on a logical sense I don't know why I would do that. Like that doesn't really make sense in terms of like logic, but it's interesting because Aquarian energy is so intellectual and logical and objective. But then you have all that scorpionic energy in that house of Aquarius. So it's like there's almost this push and pull between deep, deep, deep emotion and deep feelings and deep intensity and all these things that you're experiencing, and also a partial detachment in terms of connecting the emotions and everything like that. Like, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. So I would remember everyone's birthdays and I'd remember their signs.
Yeah.
And like whenever someone would do something weird for me, I'd be like, what's their sign again? And I'd be like, oh, okay, this is that. Okay, so this is how I should interact with that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I'd like guide myself through society. That's how I was navigating being social. You know?
That. Well, yeah, makes sense. First of all, Scorpios have an incredible memory. And I love that you have all that scorpionic energy and stuff. My mom is a Scorpio and she remembers everything. You could not get anything past my mom. Yeah. But I love that because it's like super retentive. It's just like it holds in everything. But in terms of like using the astrology to socialize or to kind of work with everyone else's energy, I get it because I think astrology does do that. You understand, you don't understand someone's full chart, but at least you get certain things in terms of like, oh, okay, they're a Libra with this, that, they may work this way and I can work with that, So it seems like you almost in your interactions, were you trying to kind of bend and move so that you could kind of fit in with the other people by using the astrology? Like in terms of like how they interacted, did you kind of try to fit into whatever they were doing in terms of like, trying to make it harmonious and make it like an perfect Libra word,
Yeah, right.
And that's the other thing that I think is super fascinating in your chart. So it's like you've got these two different things that could be, I imagine, in conflict with each other. And again, we all have different things in our charts that like nothing is perfect. Nothing's easy. There's always the challenges and there's always the things we got to find balance with. But you're a Libra Sun and you're a moon in Aries, which means you were born on a full moon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And also it's like just extra energy. There's extra like emotion and stuff involved in it. But it's interesting because Libras, like you're a Libra Sun, and it's like they're so like trying to find harmony and wanting things to be nice between people and wanting to find balance. And it's like this sign that is so eager to try to work with other people's needs. But then the Aries moon is like, fuck it all. Like, I'm burning the whole house down. I'm burning it down. I'm done with the BS. Like, I'm just going for it, And so I could almost see that as a challenge to work with the mood, like the moon being your moods and emotions and the sun being your ego, your deep sense of self. Almost like, do you find yourself in conflict?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, it's like if I didn't have that, like, fuck it, I'm just going to go for it type attitude.
You would not. Yeah.
I would never be successful in anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be so hesitant all the time. Those kinds of people actually make me feel so impatient because I'm just like, what are you waiting for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. And that is Aries moon. And that's the beautiful thing about an Aries moon is they get it done.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to take a pause outside of the episode to give everyone a little bit of a break from what we're talking about. I know that all this information is a lot
to absorb. But I hope you're enjoying it. And if you would like to learn more about astrology or any other information with it, you can go to my website, LiliRoseAstrology.com. Enjoy the episode.
You know, they can be impatient, they can be a little aggressive, but they get it done. Not saying you are, but just in general, sometimes people can be that have an Aries moon. I think their moods and emotions are connected to taking action. So it's like waiting on something, holding off on something, not moving forward on something can be very frustrating. And then that can be almost like some frustration or anger can build up in that. But it does seem like it's nice you have it, because with all the water in your chart and with that Libra Sun and all that stuff, I could imagine without that Aries moon, it might be hard to get things moving. Like, take action.
Yeah, like people actually get like really kind of tired of me sometimes.
What? Why? What do you mean?
I guess not like tired of me. I guess it just kind of helps me weed out the weak people. But it's like I can be very like, let's get this done, let's do this, and people are just kind of like, wait, I'm still catching up.
So they don't move like at that speed.
Yeah, like if you're not a person that can practice good boundaries, I'm not a good fit for you.
Okay, but you appreciate boundaries.
I fully respect them.
Yeah.
If you give me your boundary, I will respect it.
Right.
But I'll learn how to work with it.
Okay.
So I can still get shit done.
I see. So if someone is boundaryless, meaning if someone doesn't have those boundaries, will you kind of take over?
Sort of, or it'll put me in a space where I don't know how to work with you.
Yeah.
And it'll be like I had like previous work situations where it's just like, people would be wishy-washy with me. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to tell you if you're not communicating with me.
Yeah. I get that. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
And I think we all deal with a little bit of that and I get, I mean, again, the Libra thing, I connect with a lot because Libra is ruled by Venus and so is Taurus, and I'm a Taurus and stuff. And I think for Venusian ruled signs, it's tough because you really don't want to cause conflict.
No, I don't.
Yeah. It's like you don't.
And people treat me like I do.
Right. And you're like, truly, that is not what I want. But I get that it's, I mean, again, like, looking at a full chart, there's so many different aspects of it. And obviously the goal is to find balance with all the places, because like if you're just a Libra and you're just trying to find harmony and not have conflict, then sometimes people can railroad you or kind of like take over, and like then you're not getting your own needs met.
Right.
So it's really good, again, that you have that Aries moon to clarify and be like, hey, like this is what needs to happen.
Right.
But I'm sure, again, like with the Libra Sun, I mean, do you feel like there's sometimes a push-pull within yourself of what to stand up for and what to back down on, or like in terms of what to fight for, I guess?
It's definitely like something I had to learn.
Yeah.
Like what's socially acceptable and what isn't.
Yeah.
Like even in like a workspace, like I really struggle in like corporate environments because I'm trying to use logic and stuff. And there's like this whole field of rules that I just like that no one really speaks about, but you need to follow. And I'm just kind of like, okay, this is crazy.
You're like, this makes no sense.
This feels like an episode of Severance. So.
Yeah. What, are you in those corporate settings a lot, or is it more just like negotiating deals, or like what?
Negotiating, I'm really good at.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff, like, I think that's what has made me such a leader in my own business. Like, and that's why I've been able to successfully run, like, my own career.
I love that.
Like I get like I recently started working with an agent and I had a meeting with them and they're like, you haven't had an agent for like 3-4 years? I'm like, no.
I'm my own agent.
I'm just, like I just connect with people.
Yeah.
But it's like, I did work like a corporate job for the past 6 years. And it's just like they just took everything I did personally.
Really?
And I wasn't sure if it was like me being a woman thing or like there are just some ground rules that I just don't understand about a corporate environment. But it's just like they just always had an issue with me just existing.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's tough because I think when you have a lot of scorpionic energy, it's like at a deep, like Scorpios are so deep and so intense and so powerful. And I mean that in like a way that's like they hold a lot of deep power. And I think people can be intimidated by that sometimes, especially if it's in a woman. I think people are like, whoa, okay, like this woman's not just all soft and fuzzy. Like, like I think people get overwhelmed or intimidated.
Yeah.
And that's something that in society, I think we're trying to change.
Oh, yeah. And I'm definitely leading that change.
I can hear it in your music. I hear that in your music. Like so many of your songs, I feel like are about making change and standing up and let's take charge. Like we're tired of being controlled.
Literally.
I love that though, because it's like, that's what we need is like people to be strong and people to be like, no, like this is not working anymore.
Yeah.
And so it seems like that theme is really strong in your music. Are you the kind of person that really is wanting to fight for justice, and that's a big thing for you in your music, is conveying like that we need to make change, we need to fight for what we want? Like, is that something that you connect to?
In a way.
Yeah.
I think more or less I just want peace.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, it comes back to the Libra just wanting peace and harmony.
I know it's frustrating for me because it's like people will be like I'll be like trying to discuss like an issue with like a friend that I'm having with another person, and they're like, maybe they're intimidated by you, and I just don't believe them. I'm like, why would anyone be intimidated by me? I'm like,
I'm as soft as a kitten.
Literally, like I'm just friendly and happy to be here.
I think I think Scorpio energy gets a bad rap.
We
and
really
sometimes
do.
People think that Scorpios have like resting bitch face or resting like not happy or just kind of like closed off face. But I think the truth is that Scorpios are so deeply vulnerable and feel things on such a deep level that they don't want to let it all out because they're scared of what that could mean in terms of people seeing the true deep stuff, I
also just have like a heightened sense of my surroundings. I guess that just comes with ADHD. That like I'm very much of like, I don't believe a word you say, but I'll watch every move you make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone will like try to convince me that somebody is so nice, and I'll be like, well, look at what they're doing.
Yeah, look at the actions.
Yeah. And then like it's I think that's like what is so intimidating about me, because it's just like you make the wrong move and I'll know.
I love that though about Scorpios, because they just don't BS it. Like I said, like you said, watching every move, they see everything.
Right. And I think with that, like knowing that, like I'm watching everyone's move, I'm also watching all of my moves.
Hypersensitive.
So I can never make a wrong move. And I think that freaks people out.
I get that. Do you feel like with the combination of the 11th house and all the Scorpio energy, do you feel like it's hard for you to like be open and vulnerable with people in terms of either in a day-to-day life or just in your more like friendships or anything like that? Is that hard?
I've definitely hardened over the years, I would say. I used to be a lot more like giddy and friendly, but I realized how much that was hurting me. You know?
I get that.
It's just because it's just like, dude, the world is so scary.
Yeah.
People are so mean.
Yeah.
Like
people are mean.
They're just like, what are you guys feeling so defensive about? Like, you're good. You're safe here. Like, that's really like, I guess that's what I really want with my music. It's just like, you're good here. Like, you can come to my crowds and have a good time.
And feel safe.
Right. Like, it's just like, and you can see that, like, even with my recent set at Lost Lands, like, people came to just be giddy and have fun. And there was, like, circle pits, just happy people running in a circle instead of, like, an angry mosh pit where people are beating each other up.
Right. Right.
People come to my sets to be happy and make friends and have a good time.
I love that.
Like, they don't, and they're just like, they fully support whatever I'm saying. They're just like, hell yeah, girl, say whatever you want.
And that must feel nice for you too, to feel like you have a safe space to like
exactly
say And I love that. See, that's the thing. What I love in your chart is that again, you have all that Scorpio energy in the 11th house, but then you've got Jupiter there, and Jupiter is like this planet of like abundance and fun. He's like the fun party guy, and it's like, so yes, there's all this like deep intensity and emotions and feelings and all this stuff, but then it's like at the end of the day, like you've got all this like fun, jubilant energy, and maybe people don't see that right away because of whatever else, you know, the Scorpio or maybe the Aquarianness of like, kind of like, I don't know if you feel like maybe you detach in certain ways in social settings.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's like an 11th house Aquarian thing in terms of like detaching, in terms of, you know, maybe not showing as much emotion. And
I feel like I'm like perpetually dissociating.
Right. Are you dissociating right now?
Probably.
You're like, I'm here, but I'm also not here. No, I get that. But it's cool that you like make it a really nice, safe space for people and that people feel that vibe, you know? That's important.
Right. Well, a lot of like my musical background and like social experience growing up, like besides ice skating, was going to punk shows, like going to local punk shows. And I think a lot of people experience that too, you know, because it's like before electronic music was popular, it's like people were going to see, you know, local punk bands and you know, pop shows because, you know, electronic music really wasn't super prevalent and popular until maybe 2012.
Oh, okay. That's
you know,
when
like,
it got, yeah.
It was more like underground stuff in like specific cities, when it's like we didn't really have that in New Jersey and Boston. You know, maybe in California and Chicago, but like not, or Miami, but not, you know, it wasn't like as big as it is now.
I see.
And so it was just like I've connected in a way with the people who are like maybe close to my age or younger, who experience more live show and like that kind of community, and then I'm moving that into EDM.
I see. Yeah, you're changing it up.
Hi guys, I just wanted to take a pause outside of the episode to give everyone a little bit of a break from what we're talking about. I know that all this information is a lot to absorb, but I hope you're enjoying it. And if you would like to learn more about astrology or any other information with it, you can go to my website, LiliRoseAstrology.com. Enjoy the episode.
So, I mean, I feel that, and it seems like, I mean, because you're like kind of a 90s kid like me, right? 90s.
I would say I'm more of like an early 2000s kid, because I was like in 2000 I was 6 years old.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're 94.
Yeah.
So it was more like that early 2000s kind of thing. But it seems like you picked, were there some artists that influenced you from kind of the 90s punk scene as well, or was it more like 2000s punk?
Probably like the punk bands that were maybe popular in the 90s, 80s was like NoFX or like Rancid or, you know, Bouncing Souls, Operation Ivy, the Aquabats.
Yeah,
Real Big Fish. Like those were like the bands that I listened to. I was in second grade saying the F word at lunch. You know what I mean? It's because
how did that go?
Oh man,
at school.
The problem with me is I'm this cute little girl with freckles.
Right.
So I got away with everything.
Yeah. People were not expecting it. They were like,
they would laugh.
Right. It's like, oh, she's so cute. Like, she wouldn't, she doesn't mean it.
Look at this cute little girl with freckles saying the F word.
Oh my God. So did you get away with a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The privilege of having freckles, you know? That's cool though. No, it seems like though, it's like really cool how like I feel like your life experience, though maybe not as traditional as some people, again, big Aquarian energy, being very out of the box, but I feel like all that has contributed to why your music is so dynamic and why your music does connect with people, because again, you're kind of talking about the different feelings you're having, and maybe through the experiences of growing up and doing things a little bit different, there were insecurities or worries or fears or whatever. And I like that your music really is pretty vulnerable. Like, it seems like the lyrics, and I especially like, I mean, do you feel like as a young, like when you were younger, there was less lyrics, or like you would write less lyrics, and now with your newer stuff, the lyrics are more important to you to like showcase? Or do you feel like it's always been a lyric music kind of vibe together, you know?
I would say that I've actually, it would be like the other way around. Like when I was younger, I would write like, you know, what I was experiencing in the moment. Like I was, you know, 14 years old writing about, you know, my parents.
Yeah, right.
Or like
they suck.
yeah, right. Like, or like, you know, how I hate some kids at school.
Right.
Or the boy I liked, you know, doesn't like me back. And yeah, I think I was way more vulnerable.
Right.
I've actually toned it down.
I feel like Poison was pretty vulnerable though.
Oh God, yeah, because I've just in general had like a rough year, like personally and like and just industry wise. And I feel like that was just my way of saying it was just like, stop messing with me. I will write a song about you.
Don't make me mad. I will write a song right now. I love that. So was that song, without getting too, I mean, obviously, you know, say what you want about it, but like, was that song more directed at a person, or was it directed at just the industry as a whole? I know that it was talking about the masses a lot, and a lot of your songs I feel like talk about the masses, but this one specifically I feel like, you know, double downing on attention for the mass appeal. You can fake it till you make it, but you'll never be real. I mean, was that like talking about someone specific, or the business, the industry, or yourself, or what was that kind of touching on?
With my songs, I tend to stay away from like writing about a specific like one situation, you know, because I don't want anyone to feel called out. Like I don't want to have personal issues with anyone. I just want to express myself and how I'm feeling in a moment.
Okay, so it's like a general
vibe. It was just a
vibe.
general feeling of just being like, you know, I'm having a tough time right now with my career and I'm very frustrated with some people. And this is just how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I realized too, and it's like as I'm writing the song and, you know, showing it to people, that a lot of people feel the same way.
Oh, okay. Like in the industry, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's definitely like an unspoken of like, this is my favorite song, don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Because
like,
we all connect.
Yeah, you know, and you know, it's just like I think that in the music industry that like they've made it a norm that like negative feelings are wrong. Like you should never have those.
Don't ever sing a song about negative feelings,
right.
basically.
And
okay.
I'm just kind of like, why not?
Well, that's what good music is, I feel like. Like, isn't it? It's about expressing what your feelings are.
Right.
That's what music is.
And two, it's like, also, it's just like, if we want to make a change, we got to say something.
Yeah. Well, and I really do feel that in your music. Like a lot of your songs, I feel like there was a message of making change.
Yeah.
And again, I connect that to the 11th house, kind of the collective energy of trying to make change. And again, what I love is that you have, again, all these personal planets in your 11th house and Scorpio, all that stuff. But then you also have your North Node there, which is actually, do you know anything about the nodes?
No idea.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
It's really fun. So essentially, you know, there's like the full chart with all the planets and different houses and everything like that. And then there's like the South Node, which is all about where you're coming from. If you believe in like past lives or just your past karma.
Oh, I definitely believe in all that stuff.
Okay, then yeah.
I'm a firm believer in karma. That's why I'm always trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, and also like doing the work as a human to evolve.
Right.
And I'm sure that, again, with the Scorpio energy, you have transformation and evolving as a human is a really important thing for Scorpios. Like transforming, whatever that is, whether it's on a day-to-day basis, transforming, whether it's like a big picture, like I want to transform myself, going from a death stage to a rebirth stage, you know, maybe it's transforming with, I don't know, do you feel like with each song, is there a process of like when you're done with the song, do you feel like a different person, or do you go through some type of process of transformation with either each song or with a block of songs? Like, how does that feel for you with like each song or the transformation of it all?
It's definitely like very therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Because I hate the feeling of holding anything in.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me so anxious. Like I have to do something about it.
Maybe because in like day-to-day life, is there a lot you feel like you have to hold in?
Well, yeah. I mean, like as a woman, it's just like I'm expected to be a certain way and I'm just not that way.
Yeah, right. So your music is like you're able to kind of like be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely could see that. But anyways, back to the nodes. So it's all about like, again, South Node's all about like past life and what you're coming from.
Yeah.
And you're finding balance with it. And now you're going to the North Node, which is all about like where you want to go, what you want to bring yourself into, what you're trying to learn so that you can be a more evolved human, you know? And it's interesting because, again, you're coming from a place that's a little bit more about the practical. It's a Taurus place, you know, South Node in Taurus, but it's more practical. And then in the 5th house, it's like that Leo place of being more like showy, performing, all these things. But it's like kind of more about the self, whereas you're coming into a place that's more about the collective and sharing your vulnerabilities and your deep emotions with the collective and connecting with people on that level, which in return helps them have catharsis and transform in their own way by hearing your music. Do you feel like have you heard from people that listen to your music about how they feel when they listen to your music and what kind of process that is for them?
Not specifically. I've had people tell me that like my songs have gotten them through a situation.
Yeah.
Which
like,
is really awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like I had a song I wrote about this kid who, this is like the only song that's actually about a specific person.
Yeah.
Only because he really messed me up. But
yeah.
It was about a kid that told me he liked me, and then a week later was just like, I actually never had feelings for you.
What? That's ridiculous.
Right, exactly.
That makes no sense.
I was so hurt because I was coming out of a pandemic where I was like, you know, everyone's learning how to be social again.
Yeah.
And I was so awkward.
We were all awkward after the pandemic. I think
like,
we all were learning how to
and
do
like
that.
falling for somebody after like not being around people for like years.
Yeah.
Was really intense for me, and like that really freaking hurt.
I can't believe he said actually I don't mean that at all, or
yeah.
he was
sent in a text message too.
Well, I feel like when people do that, it's because they don't actually know how to handle their own
it's
feelings.
spiteful for sure.
Yeah.
But a kid, when I wrote that song, there was like someone who messaged me and was like, I'm going through a breakup right now, and I listen to it on my commute every morning. And I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and especially I feel like yesterday and the day before I was listening to your music, and it just, I don't know, it was very cathartic, you know? Like, even if you're not really going through anything that intense in the moment, I think just being able to hear music that has like a very strong feeling with it, if you're just stressed. So, I mean, even if you're not maybe going through specifically what you're talking about in the song, I think people can relate to that feeling.
Right.
Of feeling whatever is pent up energy or pent up just like emotion and being like, yes, like I'm going to turn this music full blast, just like bang it out.
Yeah, well, that's why I listen to music. So it's like, why would I write something I wouldn't listen to?
Yeah, I really love that. And it does seem like, again, like I said, like your music has this intensity, but then there's also this like uplifting, like kind of like hope quality. And do you feel like, is that something that, like, I don't know, like your song Alive, I really love that song.
It's funny, like, I hate to admit this, but I wrote that song to be a typical EDM song.
Mm-hmm. So for you, that song wasn't about anything specific. It was more, was it just a feeling or just a general thing?
Well, like EDM music, it's the intention of most songs is to feel free.
Yeah.
You come to a festival, you know, to escape your real life.
Yeah.
And to just be free.
Right.
And, you know, whether that's like wearing some crazy outfit, some girls go topless, like they're just living their best life.
Living their best life.
And, you know, I'm like personally perpetually depressed. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I think that's like where like a lot of like my lyrics come from, like the words that I say.
Yeah.
It's just like me trying to escape this constant depression. And so it's like I'm dying to feel alive.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that.
You know, and it's just like, you know, other artists I've seen like write songs where it's like, I'm alive, like I'm free. And I'm just like, listen, I'm trying to get there.
But I feel a little broken right now.
Yeah, you know.
Or is it also like feeling numb to, because I feel like sometimes it's hard to really connect with your emotions when everything out in the world is so difficult and scary, and almost like you have to become numb to be in the world because it's, I mean, do you feel like, because I could imagine you're a person that feels things pretty deeply with all the Scorpio. Like, do you feel like being out in the world is a struggle just because of how much is going on and how it's hard to not feel everything so painfully?
I'm like a firm empath.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, I definitely am a product of my surroundings. 100%.
Yeah.
And like Alive, I wrote, I want to say it was 22. So we're still kind of like ending the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was just a really depressive time for everyone.
I think when you're just in yourself all the time and then you have a lot of deep feelings, it's like it can almost get, I don't want to say toxic, but it can get like stale water, like where it's like you're just within yourself all the time and you almost need like another person to help balance out the feelings, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like if I feel like any kind of like disturbingness like within me when I'm around you, you'll find me just being around you less. It's nothing personal. It's not it's not even intentional. It's just like I'm just not interested.
Yeah, I get that. Well, honestly, it's great that you have the boundaries with yourself to understand like this person does not serve me in terms of like how I feel when I'm around them. And I don't want to take in their energy. I don't want to take in their toxicity because it's just going to stick with me then.
It definitely took me years to get to that point too.
Yeah.
You know, because I did notice like in my early 20s and in college, you know, it's just like I'm, you know, 4 or 5 years behind everyone my age socially. So it's like, you know, my social life didn't start until high school.
Yeah.
So it's just like I had to learn a lot of things that people learned many years before me.
I get that.
And so it was just like, you know, my 20s were what everyone experiences in high school.
Right.
You know, learning like, okay, what people make me feel uncomfortable and you know.
Yeah.
And then it's like in college, everyone had their close friend groups. My close friend group didn't happen till maybe like the past few years.
Right. Right. So it was almost like you were, like you said, you were a little behind.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you didn't have the experience of, like being in the school and just like getting to socialize and learn, because that's when you learn how to socialize and like meet people is like in your kind of elementary school. And then you go into middle school and then, you know, and you go through that kind of awkward stage in middle school.
Right.
And that's when you get it out and kind of like figure it out. But it sounds like for you were still training at that time.
Oh yeah.
So you didn't, you were like having to kind of almost be this like little adult being like in this like big world of the Olympics, and you didn't really get to just be like a kid or a preteen or whatever.
Yeah, definitely like Benjamin buttoned and then came back around.
Yeah. Right. Well, and then again, like, you know, I think people find their balance however you can. And it's like, that's great that you were able to kind of find it at a later stage and find your friend group that, you know, works for you. I think you're working with the elements of your chart that are both easy and that are challenging. It seems like you're working with that really well. Really, that North Node in Scorpio in the 11th is all about allowing your deep vulnerability and emotion and all that to come out through the collective so that other people can, basically it's like healing other people through healing yourself, you know?
Oh yeah, that's another problem.
But it seems like you're doing it. Yeah. The music you're writing is really like, again, for me, like it felt cathartic just listening to it, you know? And again, I don't listen to EDM that much, but it was really fun just kind of getting into this world where I felt like it was okay for me to go a little hard.
Yeah.
So I really love that. And I just so appreciate you being here with us, talking about your experience, both, you know, doing all the stuff as an Olympian, as a younger person, and now bringing that kind of work ethic and everything into your music life and everything. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you again. And we're very excited to listen to some of your music coming on up.
All right, everyone, I need you to put your hands up. I want to see everyone's hands up.
Player number 1.
LLC.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Remember, all of our charts are uploaded to our Instagram, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at AstroLyrical_pod. And we have a YouTube now as well. So make sure to like, subscribe, and tell all your friends, and please comment. We love to hear all your thoughts. This podcast is recorded by John Neisen, produced by Juliana Hartman and Danielle Marascalchi, and hosted by me, Liana Bassior. Thanks and goodbye.